In the heart of New York City there lived a man whose name was known in every corner of the world. Alexander Graves. He was the first trillionaire, a man whose empire reached the sky, whose technology ruled nations and whose fortune could buy almost anything, but even he could not buy peace. His glass tower touched the clouds, but inside its silent walls a deeper emptiness lived. His daughter, Lily Graves, only 9 years old, had never spoken a single word. Since birth, doctors called it psychogenic mutism. Her mind had built walls higher than any skyscraper, and her voice was locked behind them. She could hear. She could see. She could smile. But not a single word ever came from her lips. Alexander had lost his wife during Lily's birth. Since that day, he had vowed to give his daughter everything the world could offer. But no wealth, no science, no medicine could bring sound to her silence. He hired more than 100 doctors from every corner of the globe, neurologists, psychologists, speech therapists, even monks and healers. They all tried. They all failed. Every night he sat beside her bed surrounded by glowing medical screens, whispering words she would never answer. He said softly, "Say something, my angel." Just one word, but only. Silence replied. Her quietness haunted him more than the loss of his wife. He could build empires, but he could not fix what mattered most. The world saw him as invincible, but behind those diamond walls was a broken father whose heart begged for a single sound from his child days turned into months and months into years. His mansion echoed with nothing but the sound of machines ticking and the soft rustle of Lily's drawings. She loved to draw. Her sketches spoke where her voice could not. She drew a small figure of herself standing in the rain beside a man who held an umbrella. Alexander watched and wondered. Was that him? Was that her way of speaking to him? One stormy evening, fate entered in the most unexpected form. A new janitor joined the staff. His name was Michael Evans, a 52-year-old man with silver hair, kind eyes, and a past marked by loss. He was a humble worker who swept marble floors and fixed broken lights, yet his soul carried warmth, the kind of warmth that could melt ice. Michael had once been a teacher before tragedy struck. He had lost his wife and son in an accident and had chosen silence as his companion. Now he worked quietly, cleaning the very halls where the world's richest man lived. He noticed the girl sitting alone in the corner of the garden watching the rain through the glass. Her eyes curious, her lips still. He did not know who she was. He only saw a lonely child. He smiled gently, waved his hand, and placed a folded paper boat on the fountain beside her. Then he walked away. The next day he saw her again. This time he placed another paper boat with a small drawing on it, a sun, a smile, a word written in pencil. Hope days passed, and their silent exchange grew. Each day, Lily waited for the janitor to come. He never spoke, and she never answered. Yet through his small gestures she began to feel something she had never felt before. Connection, compassion, and trust. Alexander noticed the change. Lily began to smile more. She woke up, early, waiting near the window. Her drawings changed from gray storms to bright skies. He wondered what had caused this light, but the doctors had no explanation. They said progress might happen unexpectedly. But Alexander knew something or someone had touched her soul. One afternoon the power went out during a heavy storm. The elevator stopped. The lights went dark. Panic filled the mansion. Michael, who was working in the hallway, grabbed a flashlight and hurried upstairs. He found Lily standing at the top of the staircase holding one of his paper boats. Her eyes were wide with fear. Michael reached out his hand and spoke softly. "It is okay, little one, I am here." Lightning flashed outside and thunder shook the glass walls. The paper boat fell from her hands and she whispered a single word: "Help." The first word she had ever spoken echoed through the silence. Michael froze and tears filled his eyes. He picked her up, carried her to safety, and comforted her like a father would. The doctors came running. The billionaire rushed through the corridor in disbelief. He heard the sound, the one he had prayed for his whole life. His daughter had spoken. Lily looked at her father, smiled, and said, "Daddy." The mansion fell silent again, but this time, it was the silence of awe. The man who had everything knelt on the cold marble floor holding his daughter, crying not out of sorrow, but of gratitude. When he asked how this miracle happened, Michael simply said, "Sometimes it takes another kind of silence to break one." From that day on, Alexander kept Michael not as a janitor but as part of the family. Lily spoke more each day, and their bond grew strong. Her laughter echoed through halls that once knew only quiet. The trillionaire who had searched the world for a cure learned that the power of love and kindness could do what all his money never could. In the years that followed, Alexander built a foundation in Michael's name to help children with speech disorders. He named it the Voice of Hope, and every evening he watched Lily and Michael fold paper boats together and send them drifting across the fountain. Each one carried a word, a wish, and a memory of the day. The impossible became possible, because sometimes miracles do not come from wealth or science. They come from hearts that choose to care. The end.